cases where somebody just like struck gold for you, or to set up a show, or anything like that?
That's an awesome question.
Yes.
Thank you. By the way, that megaphone we recorded, "I'll Be in Your Arms" through that megaphone in studio, which is that song. Just for what it's worth. Do you want to answer that?
Sure. Yeah, we have a fan named Debbie who works for a hospitality company and has a bunch of hotels, and she was able to book us like 10 stays for $50. So it was like that was really helpful. But they all, a lot of our fans just show up with food, and we had a fan, Jamie, in Detroit, give us like 5 pallets of like energy drinks, which is super.
And soup.
And
He works at the Campbell's Soup Factory, so he gave us like a whole bunch of soup.
Yeah. So and then a fan in San Francisco went to Costco and got us a bunch of like snacks.
Beth and Ted over here do our stickers.
Yes.
At their shop at Bay. So nicely donate them.
I love that you put this in the background.
Oh, and then
Yeah, that's the background
and the
that they
Hobbit
made.
background.
That started it all.
yeah.
You're filming, but
Background for the
Sabs has definitely helped us in many capacities.
Did you make these
moderates our
Yeah.
Discord?
Yeah, Sab made these like name tags. too.
Sab's made the name tag.
Sorry about the quality. They're not very sticky.
I think they're wonderful, Sab.
You're fine.
Right?
Got it on.
I think the sort of synopsized answer to that is that we could not be here if we didn't have help from our friends. I think at this point, the fans of Under the Rug are part of the band, probably. We should be divvying songwriting credits to the fans at this point because y'all are integral. And I actually think that makes it a really unique outfit.
Definitely. Cool.
So anyways, can I have some food or?
Yeah,
do you have like some
We were at the Tibetan place right across the street. We had so many leftovers. We're like, should we take them? They were like curries. They were runny. It was like, I don't know. It doesn't travel.
Look, you should see what stuff we make travel. Right?
That's true.
We've had yogurt just for an entire 8-hour van.
Yeah.
I love
So we
the
can
like
get in.
questioning the food. You're like, anybody know how old this is?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna eat it.
And it's always like longer than you want, but then you do it anyway. Oh, 8 hours?
That's probably
Yeah, we'll make it.
Was it in a bag? At least it could keep
Yeah.
it kind of cold.
What about clam chowder?
Oh, don't bring up the clam chowder again. I can't relive that memory.
There's definitely been clam chowder that has spilled all
All
over
over the van.
in the nooks and crannies in my backpack.
Like a whole
The
bucket.
worst thing to spill in
It
the
was
van
terrible.
is clam chowder.
I am going to close this.
And we'll see how well it will sound.
I feel it.
Not.
Not
I think-
much.
Let's go upstairs.
Unfortunately, sorry, I know this seems kind of like, well, it's not that loud. It will get louder, and I can't talk over it at 40 consecutive shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if we.
I think we're
I think we're on the sidewalk. I think we're doing street time.
Great.
Street time.
That's really fun. Follow us. So, because this is a very comical situation, I would just like to have folks not become hurt or a liability. So, if you don't mind just taking at least one decent step in from the curb, and then as people go by, we're all gonna mutter "Under the Rug" is my favorite band every time.
Were you a crossing guard at one time?
I wasn't, but I am now. Yes.
Good job.
They don't pay me well, but I feel powerful. So if we could all just try the muttering really quick as this group of people pass through, feel free to.
You've been interested.
No, didn't work. Okay, so
Sorry.
Watch out. Jill's.
what
I think
is?
I think they're sold out, so you can't.
People are too afraid to.
Under the Rug is my favorite band.
Hey guys, you know what?
Yeah.
That was bad. Let's not do that. I don't trust you.
Sorry. I'm gonna let you down.
I'm just kidding.
Do you want me to yell it down?
I do, but just for entertainment value. Somebody in Instagram asked us for Dear Adeline.
That's me.
Is that you? That was
Oh, I
you.
love that.
What?
You want to come over?
I was bad. I'm a tree.
Okay. Well, how about
I don't want to
We'll play both of them.
Yay!
We'll do Skeleton Tree during the show, and we'll do Dear Adeline now. But I don't know at all.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, well.
You did find an indie.
Yes. Made for most of it.
That's too funny.
I know, right?
Don't forget what? Oh, I'm not gonna
Let's see if I
forget.
can get everyone.
I've been talking to Jacques shit.
I know.
Um,
Now I met him.
I think we're good turtles.
huh?
I like your
Really?
Thank you.
That's pretty sweet.
Huh? Ah, follow us into Sketchy Alley.
Oh, are we going into the murder alley?
We're going to Murder Alley.
I think that might make us more spread.
Thank you.
I feature that alley.
Are we? Did we through this alley?
Wait, there's Tattoo Alley.
Yeah, Tattoo Alley was great, except for the dead rat.
Oh yeah, sad.
There was a bloody dead rat.
Well,
Nothing.
this is, by the way, this is the most under the rug VIP that has ever happened.
Where do rats go?
Rats go in alleys.
You guys want to try sidling into the submarine of an alley? Is anyone uncomfortable with that? Raise your hand if you
We're in a
are.
group, safety in numbers.
All right, well,
And like I said,
following you guys.
I once got a free sticker in an alley like this.
Great. If y'all kill me, I'm gonna haunt you.
Oh, please do.
Alright, you're going in there and then we're gonna close the gate.
I don't
nice of you.
I don't trust you.
I don't trust me.
We're okay.
Where did Sean go? It's like,
I don't know where I'm keeping my hand on this gate.
Great. Oh, there's some nice cigarette butts. Okay, good. Ooh, wow.
wow, this is
This
fun.
Oh
one's
my
good.
goodness.
I like
Okay.
This is nice.
Cool, you guys.
Okay.
You guys picked the stinky alley, I see.
Yeah, I guess they did. Oh, good, a chair. That'll really liven up the room.
This is gonna be so nice.
Where's he?
I feel like there's something to be said for rats in an alley, though.
Yeah. We're right where we're supposed to be.
This is so under the rug.
I know.
Are you surprised to hear from me? Neighbor's been quiet since Mom died. All is closed down. I've had a long time to think of this, what I would say. I could ever reclaim the voice that once was my own, but you took away. Until now, y'all are really cute. Smoker sings through a hole in his throat. Riding bird is cooking on the road. Adam, are you surprised to hear from me? From your through snarls of eyes into your ears down. Laying down, they won't go away. So easy. Is that what you were?
It was great. I'm not crying.
Anybody else? Me cry.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Now that we're warmed up a little, does anyone else have any questions? Things that they're wondering? What songs mean? How we recorded them? When we came up with the ideas for them? Anything that you're wondering? What you got?
I was wondering if interacting with all of us individuals who are all different has changed your perspective and your personality even, just knowing us over these years.
Me.
That's a good question.
Me in particular? Or?
I don't know, that's what I thought of.
I love that question. Jill asked if interacting with such a wide gamut of person through doing this has changed me at all. And definitely, I think, I don't know, I've always had an affinity for folks that were as sort of wobbly and weird as I am. I was never the popular kid in school, you know, it's that classic trope. My family were very odd growing up, and my mom was schizophrenic, so that was always entertaining. And I think I just keep relearning over and over again how kind of similar we really all are when it comes down to it, you know? And it just sort of affirms that for me. I kind of worried that maybe I would get tired touring a lot. That was on my mind for a while, especially after our first tour. I was like, oh, this is hard. But I think you guys make it super worth it. I'll be tired right up until we're doing a VIP, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this is the greatest thing that I could ever do for a living. Especially right now when the world is very divided. I think our divisions are mobilized to ends that don't benefit us. And there's this weird little power in a bunch of disparate people hanging out in an alley together. I don't know any other time in my life when this environment happened. Isn't how genuinely this whole alley of people just laughed? It was crazy, right? It's like so cute.
But I think we're all enhancing each other's lives, the whole
Yeah.
community, your fans, the band. I think we're all feeding each other and growing together.
Yeah.
Totally.
I will say, you know, because you asked the question, that I'm particularly happy to have you around, Jill. I love you. You know?
Everyone knows who Jill is. Thank you.
Is everyone
you.
here in the Discord? Is there anyone who's not in the Discord here?
What?
You
You're
should
not-
get in.
You should get in the Discord.
I'm not in the Discord.
Well, you all.
But I hear.
That's cool.
Yes.
When you were writing Taxidermy, what was like, that's one of my favorite songs on the album. What was like going through like your guys' head, like in terms of songwriting, production, what it means to you, like what is kind of like the blood and guts of that song for you?
Well, Sean.
That's more the songwriting side of things, but yeah.
Are you talking about the songwriting or just everything? Everything. Well,
I can maybe speak to the production if you want to.
I could too, a little bit.
I'll speak to the songwriting
Yeah.
and speak to the production.
And then Sean, yeah.
But we live in a mobile home together. Bunch of 30-something-year-olds living in a mobile home together is a funny scene. We don't have very much money, so we make do with what we have to keep doing this, you know? and we had an infestation of field mice in the house, and they got into our drawers and our cabinets and
Our pantry.
and our landlords didn't. They're good at
Making money off of us.
pressuring us. They're good at pressuring us not to hit them up too often. You know, you'll feel the burn if you ask them for too much too often. And so we just decided, okay, well, let's solve this. And we tried regular mouse traps, and those didn't really work. They're rather intelligent little critters and found their ways to eat the Snickers or what have you that was on them. And so we tried glue traps, and if you've ever used a glue trap before, they're really brutal, and they sort of stick to their fur and skin, and then they can't get out, and so they'll sometimes chew off their own body parts to get out. It's really brutal. We didn't really know the extent of how gnarly those were, but we did know that once they were caught, you were supposed to kill them. And so we would take them into the backyard, and I was the one who was doing it initially, putting them in a trash bag, and I had this piece of wood that was in the backyard. And then I pawned it off on Brendan, who did some, and then Brendan pawned it off on Sean. And I remember the last glue trap we ever used was because Sean went out there, and he was out there for like 2 hours holding this 2x4. Like walking up to this bag and like holding this piece of wood and then walking away. And finally he does it, and he comes in, and he just has so much water on his face, like so much tears on his face. And he was just sobbing, like full body sobbing. He goes, I never want to do it again. It was so cute. And
Cute.
and so we just, you know, the story goes that there's a character that had to kill a mouse. And then this character goes to a yard sale and finds a taxidermy rat, and it sort of haunts him and beckons him to purchase it, and then like the telltale heart, it sits on his mantle. And I just think in the context of the record, Happiness is Easy, you'll hear in part 2, it's just such a mishmash. It's just such it's like note-taking on little sorted scenes, bits of things that might somehow add up to an equation for me to be happy or for us to be happy, you know, writing it together. I know this is a ramble, but but basically that story to me was just it was just like this metaphor of like or it was just an enactment of a real palpable guilt we felt for the life of a thing that made us feel guilty for killing. I don't know. It's such a simple image. Sometimes you have to kill a pest, you know. But then when you really think about it and you let that get to you instead of dissociating from it, you know, feels like shit to have to kill anything.
Yeah.
We were just listening to a song in the car today by an artist, Yoni Wolf. His artist name is Y, and he has a line in one of his songs that talks about a wasp that gets in a shoe, and he takes off his shoe, and the wasp kind of stumbles like lost, and he just smashes it. So that's what you do with the wasp that just stung you, and if you think about it, it wasn't the wasp's fault. It wasn't the mouse's fault. The mice just wanted to be warm. And that's like the thing that it's like a human thing to want to get rid of the pest. And it was so tough for me. I don't know why. It was just, it makes me feel terrible. Yeah, anything. I take cockroaches out and catch them if I can and put them back in the yard. You know, it's even though I think they really don't serve any purpose in a certain way.
What about birds though? Birds eat cockroaches.
That's true. There you go. There's something
There's
there.
something there.
I love how the rat, the taxidermy rat, is dressed up like Nanny McPhee because it gives it this humanity or something.
Right. Even like nostalgia maybe too.
Yeah.
from your childhood.
It's almost like caretakerly too. You put it in this position, and maybe allow it to be. Maybe it was a caretaker or something. I like exploring storytelling in that way, where you just follow where it goes from something that happens in your life, and it gives you like an alternate solution to something that's real for you.
Songwriting, I feel like for us is a lot about learning something in the process about ourselves. Yeah, either individually or all three of us, and that was something we were all doing together. As far as the production goes, I think Casey had just gotten that mandocello, right? And that's where it got written, but...
Yeah, so the main riff is written on a mandocello, which is like a big, like, what's the difference between a mandolin and a mandocello in terms of octave? Is it like octave below?
So a mandocello is the same range as a cello, but with frets on it, which is an octave below what we call a viola or a mandola, is the mandolin equivalent. So it's in C. The lowest string is a C, which is a fifth and an octave below a mandolin.
And I guess a third lower than a guitar.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful instrument.
It's a really cool instrument, yeah. But yeah, that song was like recorded almost the whole thing in like one day. Like started with the mandocello, and then we have this little synth. It's called an OP1, and it had this drum loop that we just took. We're like, I don't know if we want to do normal drums on this thing, or it's not feeling right, like everything we tried. So we just found this, we created this loop, and then that's the main drum part, is this like loop from the synth. And then, you weren't even there. You came.
I recorded, I forgot what I recorded. I recorded acoustic guitar on it, and then I came back home after working one day, and y'all had just set up drum mics, and were finishing tracking at the end, and I remember coming in and being like, what is that? What is that? It was insane. Like sometimes when you have a song in it's like infant stages, in the project as it sounds, without any mixing, without any mastering, you like know that it's gonna be good because it's already sounds like it should be on the radio. And that was one of those tunes where I came in and what Brendan tracked on there was such a simple part coming into the drums.
Yeah.
It's just like a
so like we learn things in the songwriting through like the lyrics, but also there's moments sometimes in recording where you find things that are unplanned, and you learn that way too. Like I remember I was coming in on that snare. Do you know the snare at the end that kind of comes in? And I missed my entrance, but I just kept playing the snare. And then Casey in the talkback was like, that was sick, what is that? And so it was unplanned to hit the snare that many times for that long, but it created this moment of like, I think a lot of tension, like just a snare just being mutilated for that long, and it kind of felt like...
Also, you did it out of anger.
I did it out of anger. I was pissed because I missed. I was like, fuck, I missed it. And then that like is almost reflective of the feeling of that song of like anger towards yourself or something for killing a rat, or like it's I don't know, there's like the feeling of that choice was reflected in the lyrics somehow in a way that I don't even know if I can explain, but it just felt right. But yeah, there's like moments like that where you surprise yourself in doing something, and then if you have smart friends, they will be like, "That's actually cool," you know. So
there's like a leaning into your problems thing with Under the Rug, where like every single thing almost that's been good that Under the Rug has managed to do, in my opinion, I think, has come from having something that a sane person would avoid or try to correct. like that moment of getting upset is like, oh, you didn't play the part.
Yeah.
But then
what
like,
is the part?
What is the part?
Yeah,
Why can't that moment be that part? And isn't that so cool? And like being open. Does anybody know the album Pale King? Anybody know that album? Okay. So in Pale King, the very last track on there is a reading of a Kafka short story called Before the Law. and my uncle is actually the one reading it. During the pandemic, we were killing time. My uncle's an actor in LA. So we took an acting class to kill the time on Zoom during the pandemic. And we took this acting class with my uncle. And the one thing I really remember that was, I think it changed my life, was he would say allow as an acting thing.
Yeah.
That if you are tired and you're trying to act a part, and you're like clutching tightly to this character that you were supposed to be that was like maybe very energetic, it's gonna seem stilted and wrong. But if you just allow that tiredness at that moment to affect your performance, maybe that was the exact version that you always needed to do. And allowing the mistake of the snare, allowing the crying after killing the mouse to, instead of being something maybe, I don't know, shameful or too sensitive, or, well, isn't that so amazing of Sean to be that sweet? And isn't that just the kind of character that the story might need and that people might resonate with? And maybe if you years later are going to be in a VIP that your band plans, but the venue doesn't really give too much of a shit, so they just have it happen at the same time as the sound check of the other band. Well, aren't we called Rugrats, and isn't an alley such a fun place to do things? I feel like I'm always resisting the way the world wants to push me. God, I just avoided coming out for so long, and didn't that actually just, by allowing that to be known, didn't that bring a lot of more types of people into the fold of understanding our art? I don't know. I think it's been one of my most valuable lessons in my life. All right, we're gonna pass these out now.
I was thinking maybe we just make it
stand at the
there.
front.
Yeah,
Okay.
while
How are we doing on time?
We have 14 minutes. Perfect.
All right, we got 14 minutes. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Can we do a group picture in the alley?
Yes.
Handy.
A pen handy? Yeah.
Could you sign?
Could
you
try
sign
to do some
Ash?
pictures.
Sign Ash.
Oh, and Ash got
We will take one picture at the very end. Hi. How are y'all doing?
Hey! That's so funny.
We had sushi with you last November. When
Oh yes.
Can I just say I talk about that sushi often? I brought that sushi up maybe 10 times in the last couple months. Y'all are not VIP, right?
No, for Maggie though. But Maggie is the one that couldn't help us. And do you remember?
Oh yes. Yes. Now it's all
That's
clicking.
you! Oh
it's
my
coming
God,
back!
that's you!
It's all clicking now.
Can I get a hug from you? Come here.
Aw.
I was just really excited to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Oh,
I want to hug too. Get back.
Do you want me to read this later?
I'm so glad
Okay,
you got
okay.
to come.
Hey,
Thank you.
Maggie,
This is my birthday gift.
happy birthday. Do they want to come in too?
They can come.
Would you like them to come? Or would you like it to be your thing?
Yeah. You
You want to stand here?
It was like a month ago.
It's happening now.
God damn, Casey is an amazing human being.
Yes.
All of
Yeah, we gotta do like, you know how on the camera you can do like the 0.5, like to get like
I
the
believe
selfie
that,
angle
actually.
from there.
Can't. It won't let me flip the camera.
No, but it's really for the picture.
Okay.
Sign Ash's.
I have
I
an actual
certainly
camera
can.
and a tripod.
So, hey Jill, would you mind taking an alley photo for us?
Exploring a theme, whether that be escaping the 9 to 5, getting over a breakup, finding your place in the world, exploring happiness. What are some themes you are excited to either explore next or
That's
have
awesome.
already begun
Yeah.
writing in songs that we don't get to hear yet?
Oh shit.
We're gonna have to do one more picture,
no.
everybody. Oh yeah.
Jump in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there.
Should we
Get the hell
Get
in.
in there.
Oh, those
Not a lot of people like articulate that being the case, but it's true. Pale King was very like an exploration of what it means to be a working person in this system of things, and Too Far Away was like going out to nature to deal with grief. Adeline was relationship themed, breakup themed. Homesick for Another World was very much about feeling out of place and alienated from the way things are. And Happiness is Easy is exploring what it means to be happy, which I think is our biggest, most monstrous album yet. You'll hear part 2, and also our biggest failure of an album, just being such a mess. But I love it.
Can you say that about part 2?
Just the whole thing. When you listen to the whole thing, it's like crazy. Like it covers so much genre ground.
Yeah.
And part 1 doesn't even like get close to what happens in part 2.
Part 2 gets weird.
It gets really weird.
When did that come out?
We're gonna rein it in for the next record for sure. We're actually we just decided something last night that's really crazy. So we've been on the road for almost 2 months. After this, we get home, Jill comes back with us and she flies home on the 21st. Well, the 20th at 3 in the morning, we're gonna leave Jill alone to drive the van back the next day and then fly home. And we're actually gonna get on a flight and we're gonna fly to Los Angeles for a 5-day recording session to finish the album that we started that comes after Happiness is Easy Part 2.
That was at the Rudoso EP?
Yes.
So
I walked into the hotel room from doing laundry last night, like late last night.
Yeah, this happened last night.
And these two were calling our engineer Dave, like, "Hey Dave, when can we come to your house?" And Dave's like, "I have 1 week open, and it's like the day you guys come back from tour." My partner's birthday is like 7 days after we come back, so we're coming back the day before my partner's birthday. And then I like fly to Phoenix like the next day. It's
Sean's
insane.
gonna probably
Sean's gonna
drop.
die.
Yeah, Sean's not gonna
It's
make
gonna
it.
be fun though.
Poor Sean.
But we recorded 6 songs in Rudoso, and we wrote 5 more on the road while we were touring this time. And so we're gonna go try to record 3 to 4 of those, and then just button up that album, which is I think it's like, this is really heady. I'm answering your question, but it's not totally figured out. But I think Homesick for Another World was very much like, I feel out of place here. And then Happiness is Easy was like a momentary detour to try and like get myself back up and running after deciding to come out with a very shameful secret. And
What's the shame in it?
Huh?
What's the shame in that?
It's just the feeling, I guess, right?
You don't understand the shame of a man coming out as a trans woman?
I know many, and I don't let them feel shame.
Oh, well, it's a very strong feeling that exists for people like me, and
I mean, there's fear. I get that.
no, it's shame for me. It
That's
was.
what the culture made you feel.
What?
It's from being in the culture that was built into you from the time you were born that you
Of course.
feel that way.
Yeah.
Yes, very
It's
much
not
so.
like you didn't make it up. It was
No, right.
given to you by
Gender
the
stuff.
whole surrounding world.
Of course, this is all true. Yes. And anyway, so just to finish that thought, like what happens is, I think in the Rudoso recordings, we started asking questions like, so then what? Like, you feel out of place here.
You're unhappy, maybe.
You're unhappy, and you've tried to figure things out as best you can. So what do you do now? And I think it's the first record where it feels, and this is maybe a bad word for it,
Don't lean on me.
feels like it has an opinion. Like, okay, what if we do this? What if we what if we admit that we're all a lot more like one another than we think? And what if we try to dream of a way to move forward and actually help the world be a little better? Is that crazy to do? Right? Like, what if we actually try instead of just being upset that it is how it is? And then I think in our lives we're starting to try to do more things like that. I don't know if you guys saw our post about some of the hurricane stuff going on, or like trying to embody a new moment of maybe being willing to try again instead of just complaining. And some of those songs are exploring some of that. And then we actually are picking up a tape machine in Atlanta before we head home to do. We're sort of planning the record after this one, which is going to be an all, if we can finish it, it's going to be an all analog record that will never touch digital, and that is its own thing. Hi. We're just a group of alley people. Don't mind us.
It's a bunch of rats.
Give me cheese.
Get through.
All right. Sorry, I'm rambling.
But I love it.
There was a question here. When is part 2 coming out?
Early next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
I honestly, I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was thinking, what if we just start throwing singles?
Whoa.
Like we're not gonna do press. I don't think we can't afford it this time.
It just, we have to figure out merch timeline. Is the only thing.
What if we just start throwing singles out there
Yeah,
Okay.
and then do
we'll take it.
a pre-order?
Just give me.
Okay.
I was thinking starting with the
Send
lowest.
us,
I love
send
these,
us
like,
the sticker.
I love like
stuff.
finding out.
Yeah, we're
These
we
things
are
do-
picking up with this.
Sorry, I'm like a crazy person, and I will sort of drag them along. They will find stuff out in the moment, and I'll be like, "This is my new idea," and they're like, "Okay."
Sean just found out we're spending like $2,300 on a tape machine just.
Yeah, well, that has to happen. And
See? Yeah.
and
Yeah, no, I had
Gonna keep
Casey
the
pegged a long
cost
time
on
ago.
the
Oh, it's insane.
I was thinking we start with the last track.
Whoa.
What?
The last.
The last track. What if we start with the second to last track and the last track as a 2-single?
Oh, like an old-fashioned type of idea of a 45.
Right.
Press
That
45.
comes out first, and then we just start waterfalling
It's
the real
interesting
songs.
because the end kind of contextualizes the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then you fill in the gaps.
Whoa, I kind of love this
I kind of
idea.
Right?
like that, but you have to put
It hit
them
me in the
on
car.
tune coordinates.
That's fine.
Yes,
Now.
it's what makes all of it. The motif in the song alone on part 1 comes back, I think 5 or 6 times throughout the 2 parts of the record, in different ways, snuck in. And the last song of part 2 answers the question. It's just insane. This is way too heady. This is
No one knows
one's
what
gonna,
we're talking
No
about,
one's
so-
gonna get it either, and it's just so.
Oh, you bet.
But we'll get it when we hear it, and we'll go, oh.
You know what I think is
that's
gonna
what
happen? I think everyone's gonna go,
Huh.
ah.
But I'm sorry. We get you. We get you more than you think.
We'll see. I mean, to be no, it's not about getting it, like having like intelligence to get it. It's about us having done a bad job saying it, not the other way around. Like y'all have more capacity
patience
than
of a
I do to
saint.
probably understand a musical puzzle, but the it was so ambitious that it just like, and it took itself so seriously, and I don't know if we sort of jumped the sharks, so to speak. So anyway,
Wait, sorry,
Can I
one
say
more
something
question.
really quick?
Yeah.
yes.
Whether or not we get it, you guys get all of us through your music. Like, you're our favorite band for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start crying again. No, they know what I'm talking. Like, your music, like, speaks to me more than any other music in my life. And yeah, you guys just get me. You don't even know me, and you just get me. Like the human experience, the gender stuff, everything. You just get me.
We bond with you when you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Y'all are so cute.
Aw. Do you have a question?
Just whatever story you guys want to tell, like, we're here for the ride. Like, whatever message you want to tell, whatever truth you want to tell, like it will fall into place and we're gonna love it. Like you, like what they were saying, you do get us, like in a way that I don't think maybe a lot of people would understand just from being like, I'm talking to in an alleyway for like 45 minutes. That's a crazy time to get to know someone, but like you do get me in a way that, like you guys get me in a way that maybe not a lot of people do. So I know it's gonna fall into place.
That means like a lot, but can I just add a thing to that? If for some reason this is like a little too wonky, just
hold on.
Just hold on until the next record, and know that this is,
We'll bring it back around.
We'll bring it back around.
It's gonna get weird.
I wish all of you could have been there in like 2017 or so when we were screaming into the void to like nobody, and having people say that type of stuff now is so, it's like whiplash.
wild,
It is so crazy and makes me feel so validated, like hurtling across the country in a little van with my homies. Like it's really sweet. So thank you all for
We all feel
being here.
seen by each other.
This feels so homey. Jill, what's up?
I just want to say something. It's not a question.
I want to hear it.
You know, your presence in my life has changed my life, and I know that it has also changed many of our lives, really. And I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
And thank you for being here too.
Yeah.
Your presence has changed our lives.
Yeah, totally.
What?
Your presence in our lives has changed our lives as well, and you know
Definitely.
that. You know that.
Well,
I mean, only one of us is in Casey's favorite photo.
That's true.
I grew up really insecure, so that's harder to like totally.
I mean, so did we. Yeah.
Doors
Thanks,
are
Jill.
open. Yeah.
Okay, you guys, just lastly here, let me soapbox one more time. As Sean said, if there were a way that we could tell our former selves that everything was going to be this okay because of you, I think our lives would have been much easier to get here through. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How wild it is, right? To be human beings on this planet in this way, to have found disparate groups of other strange human beings that are connected through the thread of some weird monkey sounds that we make with our mouths and fingers. I wish there were a way to make this not sound too contrived, but in our way, we love you a lot.
We know that.
So thank you for coming, and thank you for supporting us, and I hope you absolutely adore tonight's show. Grab a poster as you leave. We'll stand in front of here, and then go and head on and sign. And then please, if you ever need anything, you know, if anything is ever going on, you know where to find us in Discord. And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.